Island, right? They're arriving in the end of summer. They arrived in August or September. And they're dressed in European fashions, which for the Italians meant these really tight stockings that came up to their waist. And then they had this big poofy skirt thing, which I'm not sure I get. And then they had this big jacket that they wore over the top of this shirt. They usually had a big open space, but then you had another shirt underneath that would be exposed there. So there's at least 3 layers of upper torso clothing, and then the big poofy thing, and then the stocking. And so here's Columbus, right? And then the Spaniards, who are all combatants, they're sailors and Marines mostly Marines, most of the sailors were Italian. The Spaniards, they have the big metal breastplate on top of it, and the big helmet with the points at either end, and the kind of the ridge that goes across the top. And so they're these heavily armored, overdressed guys in the tropics who have been on a ship for 2 months. Now, let me make it more special for you. So here's your caravel. It's not a particularly amazing ship by any means. All right. 1 mast, usually, sometimes 2. Sometimes you have a spirit mast. Well, we always had a moving mast. So there you go. There's your caravel. You're taking off. The captain and the officers, they're in the top deck, the castle, that castle. The lower decks are for everybody else. The higher rank you are, the closer to the top you are. The reason you want to be towards the top is what they did was they put troughs on each deck for going to the bathroom. Because, you don't want to pee or poop off the side of the ship, because if the ship hits a wave, you go overboard and you're not going to go pee. So you got to do it inside the ship, that and laziness. So what the men would do is they would just go and they'd pee or poop in the deck, or in the trough on the deck. What do ships do? So guess where there wasn't any pee or poop? In the trough, because it's sloshing out all the time onto the deck, which is planks close to each other, but not exactly butting up against each other. So there's fecal matter and urine slowly trickling down the decks. And then it builds up on the bottom of the ships, and it's called a bilge. And so if you were being punished, you would go down into the bilge and you would do repairs on the ship in the bilge. And so the ship had this open human sewage in the very bottom of it, and the lower ranked crew members are, while they're sleeping, being trickled on. And so they smell like fecal matter. They haven't bathed for 2 months.
They're used to this from walking around the streets.
Right, yeah, this is nothing to them. This is normal. They've got scurvy because they don't know to eat fruits on their missions, and they don't have enough vitamin C, so they've got these big red marks all over their face from the scurvy. They're bearded because they're not going to shave on a trip like this, and their hair is real long. In fact, what they would do is they would take their hair and they would wad it up and then they put tar in it so that they wouldn't have to comb it or anything. So just this big mass of tarred hair, these big beards. And then they're covered in clothing, and then the metal breastplates. They walk up to the Native Americans. The Native Americans are wearing grass skirts. And that's it. And the Native Americans are bathing every day. So the Native Americans smell good, and they look attractive. These Europeans get off the ship, and they're walking towards the Native Americans. The Native Americans are like, what the hell is that? Now the weird thing is in our mythology, we have a debate over whether or not the Native Americans were animal or human. But the amazing thing is they're having the debate also, but they're closer to the truth, right? Because, first of all, Native American males don't grow facial hair. So they're watching these extremely hairy men walking towards them, and they're baffled. Are they human or are they monkey? Because only monkeys grow facial hair that they've seen. They've never seen humans with facial hair before. So they're having this debate. Are they just really big monkeys? And why are they dressed like that? And oh my God, do they stink! What the hell is that? so, this translator, who smells like hell, who looks like shit, who's sweating like a pig, he's sweating like a madman, walks up to a Native American and probably starts off in Arabic. And probably the question he asks is, where's the Khan? And that Native American's gone, I don't know what this guy's saying to me. What the hell is this? What's going on? I wish you wouldn't get so close. He's not backing up out of fear. He's just smile. And then the guy probably switches over to Hebrew and then Aramaic. Where's the Khan? And of course, the Native American has no idea what he's talking about. Because never heard these languages before. And then he probably said, okay, screw it. Where's the gold? At least tell me that. And he's probably gesticulating. And some of the Native Americans had silver or gold jewelry. So he might have started pointing at the silver or gold jewelry. Who knows what then transpired? Drawing in the sand. Maybe one of the Native Americans was like, maybe he's a dog. And starts barking. And he's like, oh, there must be people with dogs' heads. So, the Native Americans are like, burr, burr, and he goes, burr, burr. And, the Native Americans are like, maybe he's part dog. The Native Americans probably follow him back to the ship. When the Native Americans would travel, they would, by the way, the type of Native American that we're talking about are Arawaks. When the Arawaks would travel, they would bring their women with them because the idea of leaving your women behind was an alien idea to them. They would go on trading missions or fishing. Well, usually there's men this way, but on trading missions they would take women with, and if they were migrating to a new place, they would take the women with. So they probably follow them back to the ships, and they're trying to guess which amongst them are the women. And they're thinking, oh my God, they have the ugliest women ever. What the hell? I think that one might be a woman. Oh God, I hope not. Columbus gets this information from the translator, and he puts it through his religious medieval brain, and he processes it. Oh, dog-headed humans that eat other humans. I gotta see that. And this is what he does. He takes off this one. This will take him further into northern China. It's the right direction to go, probably, if you're trying to find the Khan. Except that he's in southern China, right? If you were to draw the line across, and he probably knows, he's probably lying to us when he keeps saying we're 40 something. All of a sudden he stops, and he goes back to where he started. How do we know this? Because this is what he wrote in his journal. And then he sets sail like this, back to the Bahamas. And he's zigzagging the whole way. And then, this must have driven his crew absolutely berserk. He goes back to where they first got to Cuba and takes off that way. And so, historians have always wondered, what the hell is Columbus doing? Like, what the hell? Why does he take off and then he comes back and then he zigzags and then he takes off? And this is what some people think, including myself. It's that he's having a conversation with himself. And the conversation is, does he want to go really find this Khan? The Khan is the most powerful man in Eastern Asia. Or does he want to go to a less developed place?